If you just moved to the United States, stop what you are doing and watch this video, because the mistake I am about to tell you about is costing thousands of immigrants hundreds of dollars every single year, and almost nobody is talking about it. Most newcomers land in the USA, go straight to a big traditional bank, and walk out either rejected or signed up for an account with hidden fees they will only discover months later. And by then, the damage is already done. But here's the truth. There are apps and banks that were literally built for people like you. No social security number required, no credit history required, no confusing paperwork. You can be approved in 15 minutes, sometimes less. And most immigrants have no idea these options even exist. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything. The secret apps you need to download today, how to open a bank account as a newcomer, how the credit score system works in America, the hidden fees banks hide from you, and the exact steps to start building your financial life in the USA, starting from day one. Let's get into it. First, let me quickly explain how banking in the USA actually works, because it is very different from many other countries. In the United States, you need a bank account for almost everything: to receive your paycheck, to pay rent, to apply for a credit card, to build a credit history. Without a bank account, you are basically invisible to the entire financial system here. So opening one is not optional. It is your very first step. Now here is where most immigrants go wrong. They assume they need a social security number, what people call an SSN, before they can open any account. So they wait. They use cash for weeks or months. They send money home through expensive services, and they miss out on starting to build their financial history. Here's what nobody told you. You do not need a social security number to open a bank account in the USA. Not at Bank of America, not at Chase, not at Wells Fargo, and definitely not at the special apps I'm going to show you today. You can walk in with just your foreign passport and a proof of your US address, and you can open an account. That one fact alone, if you had known it on day one, could have changed everything. So what documents do you actually need? Let me make this very simple. Every bank will ask for your full name and date of birth. That is basic. They will also need one valid photo ID. The most powerful document you can bring is your unexpired foreign passport. Almost every bank accepts it. If you have a US visa, whether that is an F1 student visa, H-1B work visa, J-1, or an EAD card, bring that too. Some banks and credit unions also accept what is called a matrícula consular, which is a consular ID card issued by countries like Mexico. You will also need proof of a US address. This does not have to be in your name. A roommate's utility bill, a lease agreement, or even a letter from your employer or university confirming your address. All of these work at most banks. And then there is the question of a tax ID. If you do not have an SSN, you can apply for something called an ITIN, an individual taxpayer identification number. The IRS issues this to anyone, regardless of immigration status. It is not the same as an SSN, but most banks accept it in place of one. The only catch is that getting an ITIN from the IRS takes 7 to 14 weeks, sometimes longer. So if you plan to get one, start that process as early as possible. Do not wait. But, and this is important, some apps and banks do not even need your ITIN, just your passport. I will show you exactly which ones in just a moment. Now let me talk about the secret apps. These are the ones most immigrants never hear about because nobody tells them. These are not your grandfather's banks. These are modern, digital-first platforms built specifically for people who are new to the US financial system. The first one is Chime. Chime is the most popular digital bank in America right now, with over 25 million customers. And for newcomers, it is a game changer. There are 0 monthly fees, 0 minimum balance requirements, and it has something called the Chime Credit Builder, a secured credit card that requires no credit check and no security deposit. This means you can start building your US credit history from the very first month you arrive. Chime does require either an SSN or an ITIN to sign up, so keep that in mind. The second app is Sable Card. This one is honestly the most immigrant-friendly option I have seen. You do not need an SSN. You do not even need an ITIN, just your foreign passport. You sign up entirely online, and the whole process takes about 5 minutes. You get a bank account, a debit card, and a secured credit card all in one. 0 fees, no credit check. It is hard to think of an easier starting point for a newcomer. The third app is called Majority. Now this one is special because it was literally designed with immigrants in mind. Majority gives you a checking account, but it also includes international calling to stay connected with family back home and low-cost international money transfers. The app supports multiple languages. If you have family abroad that you need to call and send money to regularly, Majority is built exactly for your life. The fourth app every newcomer should know about is Wise. Wise is not a traditional bank. It is a multi-currency account and money transfer service. If you send money back home to India, Pakistan, the Philippines, Nigeria, Mexico, or anywhere else, do not use your bank's wire transfer. Use Wise. Traditional banks charge anywhere from $30 to $50 per wire transfer, and they hide additional fees inside the exchange rate. According to World Bank data from early 2025, the true cost of sending just $200 internationally can eat up 10 to 22% of your money in hidden fees. Wise shows you exactly what the fee is up front, and it is almost always a fraction of what banks charge. The fifth app is Remitly. Similar to Wise, Remitly is excellent for sending money home. What makes it unique is that the more you use it, the more rewards and savings you unlock. If you are regularly supporting family abroad, Remitly gets cheaper over time. And the sixth, this one is truly a hidden gem, is Nova Credit. Here is the problem every immigrant faces. You had a good credit history in your home country. Maybe you had loans, credit cards, everything paid on time. But the moment you land in the USA, that history means nothing. American banks cannot see it. You start from zero. Nova Credit solves this. It takes your credit history from countries like India, Canada, Mexico, the UK, Australia, and more, and translates it into a US equivalent score that American lenders can actually read. It is completely free to use. If you have a solid credit history back home, this could save you months of credit building here. Now let me explain the US credit score system, because understanding this is honestly one of the most important things you can do for your future in America. Your credit score in the USA is a number between 300 and 850. Think of it like a financial report card. The higher the number, the more trustworthy you look to banks, landlords, car dealers, phone companies, basically everyone who ever needs to decide whether to trust you with money. When you first arrive in the USA, you have no score, nothing. You are what the system calls credit invisible. This is completely normal, and it is not your fault. The system just has no data on you yet. Your first score will usually appear after 3 to 6 months of having at least one active credit account. Now, 5 things determine your credit score, and I want you to remember these because they will guide every financial decision you make here. The biggest factor, 35% of your score, is your payment history. Did you pay your bills on time? This is the single most important thing you can do. Pay every bill, every credit card, every loan on time. Always. Even being 1 day late can hurt your score. The second factor, 30%, is your credit utilization. This means, how much of your credit limit are you actually using? If your credit card limit is $500 and you spend $450 on it, that is 90% utilization, and it will hurt your score badly. Try to keep it under 30%. If your limit is $500, spend no more than $150 and pay it off. The third factor, 15%, is the length of your credit history. The longer your accounts have been open, the better. This is why you should never close an old credit card. Even if you do not use it anymore, keep it open. Closing it shortens your history and hurts your score. The fourth factor, 10%, is your credit mix. Having different types of credit, like a credit card plus a small loan, looks better than having only one type. And the fifth factor, 10%, is new credit inquiries. Every time you apply for a credit card or loan, the lender does what is called a hard inquiry. This temporarily lowers your score. So do not apply for 5 credit cards in 1 month. Space them out. Now, what score do you actually need for things in real life? Let me give you the numbers. For a secured credit card, you need no score at all. That is the whole point of it. For a regular unsecured starter credit card, you need around 580 to 620. For an auto loan, 600 and above, though the best interest rates kick in at 700 or higher. For renting an apartment, most landlords want to see at least 620 to 650. For premium credit cards with real rewards, you want to be at 670 or higher. And for a home mortgage, the minimum is around 620, but to get the best rates, you want 740 or above. Why does this matter so much? Let me show you the real difference. Right now, with no credit score, if you try to rent an apartment, you will often be rejected or need a cosigner. If you try to get a phone plan, you are stuck on prepaid. If you try to get a car loan, you might pay 15 to 25% interest per year. With a good credit score of 720 and above, all of that flips. Easy apartment approvals, regular phone plans, car loans at 4 to 7%, premium credit cards with travel rewards. Even your car insurance gets cheaper. Some employers also check credit scores during hiring. A good score literally opens doors. Now I want to talk about the traps. the things banks do not tell you up front. Because if you go into this blind, it will cost you. The first trap is the monthly maintenance fee. Most big traditional banks charge somewhere between $10 and $25 every month just to keep your account open. The only way to avoid it is to meet certain conditions, like having a minimum balance of $500 or $1,500, or getting a minimum amount in direct deposits each month. If you do not meet those conditions, the bank quietly takes the fee from your account. And the people who suffer the most from this are the ones who can least afford it, people who are just starting out. Here is the current reality. Bank of America raised its monthly fee to $15 as of August 2025. Chase charges $15 a month unless you have $500 or more coming in through direct deposit. Wells Fargo charges $10 unless you maintain a $500 daily balance. These fees seem small, but they add up fast. $15 a month is $180 a year, gone, for doing nothing wrong. The fix? Choose accounts with no monthly fees to begin with. Capital One 360 Checking, Chime, and SoFi all charge zero monthly fees, with zero minimum balance requirements. Start there. The second trap is the overdraft fee. This one catches so many newcomers. Here is how it works. You spend more money than you have in your account, maybe even by just $5, and the bank covers the transaction. Then it charges you a fee for doing that. The average overdraft fee in 2026 is $32.75 per occurrence. So if you are not watching your balance and you make 3 small purchases while overdrawn, you could owe almost $100 in fees on top of a balance you did not even know was negative. Banks make billions of dollars every year from this one fee alone. The fix? Turn on balance alerts in your banking app. Most apps will text or email you when your balance drops below a certain amount. And choose banks that do not charge overdraft fees at all. Chime, Capital One, and SoFi have all eliminated or reduced this fee significantly. The third trap is international wire transfer fees. This one is especially painful for immigrants because so many of us send money home to family. A traditional bank wire transfer costs $30 to $50 just to send the money. But the hidden cost is even worse. Banks also mark up the exchange rate, meaning you get a worse conversion rate than the real rate. When you add it all up, sending just $200 home can cost you 10 to 22% of the total amount in fees and markups. That is your family's money, disappearing into a bank's pocket. The fix? Never send money home through your bank's wire transfer. Use Wise or Remitly. They are transparent about fees, they use real exchange rates, and they cost a fraction of what banks charge. The fourth trap is the foreign transaction fee. Every time you use your debit card to buy something from an international website, or you are traveling outside the USA, most banks charge 1 to 3% of every single purchase. Many immigrants do not realize this until they check their statement. And the fifth trap is out-of-network ATM fees. If you use an ATM that is not part of your bank's network, your bank charges you one fee, and the ATM owner charges you another fee. Combined, that can be up to $7.50 just to take out your own money. Now let me talk about why some immigrants get rejected when they try to open accounts at traditional banks, because this frustrates so many people, and it should not happen. The most common reason is that the bank employee at the branch does not actually know their own bank's policy. Bank of America, Chase, and Wells Fargo all officially allow you to open accounts with an ITIN or a foreign passport. But the person sitting at the front desk may tell you no, simply because they have never done it before or were not trained on it. This happens all the time. If this happens to you, do not give up. Ask to speak to a manager. Or call the bank's main customer service number and confirm the policy before going in. Or try a different branch. You have the right to open an account. The second common rejection reason is not having a U.S. address. You must have a U.S. mailing address to open an account. A hotel address usually does not work. If you just arrived and are staying with a friend or family member, use their address with a letter from them confirming you live there. If you have a school or employer, a letter on their letterhead with your name also works. The third reason is something called check systems. This is a database that banks use to check if you have had problems at other banks, like a negative balance that was never resolved. If you are flagged in check systems, most traditional banks will reject you. The good news is that fintech apps like Chime and Sable do not check systems. So even if you have a past banking issue, you can still get started. Let me now give you the exact step-by-step plan for your first days in the USA. Day 1. Download either the Chime app or the Sable card app. If you do not have an SSN or ITIN, go with Sable. Just your passport is enough. If you have an ITIN, Chime works great. Fill out the application. It takes 15 to 30 minutes. You will have a bank account approved the same day in most cases. Set up your balance alerts immediately so you never accidentally overdraft. Day 1, also. If you have a credit history from India, Canada, Mexico, the UK, or Australia, go to Nova Credit's website and see if your history can be transferred. This is free, and it could give you a huge head start on your credit score. Week 1. Apply for a secured credit card. The easiest options with no credit check are Chime Credit Builder, which requires no deposit and no credit check, and OpenSky, which also does not check your credit at all. Use the card for 1 or 2 small purchases each month. Groceries, a subscription, that is enough. Then pay the full balance before the due date, every month, without fail. Month 3 onwards. Your first credit score will start appearing. Keep your credit card usage under 30% of your limit. Keep paying on time. Do not apply for any new cards yet. Month 12 onwards. Now you can start upgrading. Apply for an unsecured credit card like Capital One Platinum or Discover It. Your score should be strong enough for approval. You can also look into a credit builder loan through an app called Self. It builds your savings and your credit at the same time. And at every step, use Wise or Remitly for sending money home. Never your bank's wire transfer. Let me leave you with a few things that most immigrants never find out until it is too late. If you are a student, ask specifically about student accounts. Chase College Checking and Bank of America's Advantage for students both have no monthly fees, as long as you are enrolled in school. You will not get charged the regular monthly fee. Always tell the bank you are a student when you apply. If you live in New York City, San Francisco, or several other major cities, your city may issue something called a municipal ID. This is a government-issued photo ID from your city, and some banks accept it to open accounts. It is particularly helpful for people who do not yet have a visa or passport with them. And finally, your money in apps like Chime is protected. I know some people worry about putting their money in an app that is not a real bank. Chime is not technically a bank itself, but it partners with real FDIC-insured banks, Stride Bank and Bancorp Bank. That means your money is protected by the U.S. government up to $250,000. It is just as safe as a traditional bank. So let me recap everything for you quickly. You do not need an SSN to open a bank account in America. You can start on day 1 with just your passport using Sable Card. Chime gives you 0 fees and a credit builder with no deposit needed. Majority was built specifically for immigrants with international features. Use Wise or Remitly to send money home. Never your bank's wire transfer. Nova Credit can transfer your home country credit history for free. Build your credit from month 1 with a secured card. Pay on time. Stay under 30% utilization. Never close old accounts. And never apply for multiple cards at once. The financial system in the USA is not designed to explain itself to newcomers. That is why videos like this exist. Now you know what most immigrants take years to figure out. If this video helped you, please share it with someone who just arrived in the USA. They need this information more than they know. And subscribe for more videos like this, because every week we break down the real financial rules that nobody explains to us when we get here. You got this. Welcome to America.